Alright everyone, so in the previous video we ran Xingshu in the sort of Kokomi banner team comp, and this is just a quick recap of the team we're using. It's mostly F2P achievable, I believe, so if you're a long time F2P player you should have most of these sort of equipment and sort of characters available to you. So what we're doing is we're putting in a Yelan with a Favonius Warbow, nothing too crazy in terms of artifacts, and of course just her talents being slightly leveled up and so on. This is my Yelan stats, and how is she going to fare against the Xingshu that we used previously? Remember, Xingshu cannot get any better. If I wanted to activate a constellation, or if I've got a rerun banner with Yelan, my Yelan can only get better, but my Xingshu is already capped. So how is a under sort of powered in a certain sense Yelan going to fare against the already max potential F2P Xingshu for this team? Well, you can see at the moment there's not really much happening, so we're seeing sort of Yelan here using her ability to quickly reposition, group up the enemies, and this actually allows us to clear this floor a lot faster. So basically we can do the AoE freeze, and the combination of the Favonius on Yelan and Rosaria allows us to at any point redirect all the energy particles to any team member that really needs it. So here you can see we're saving a second or two, quickly repositioning with Yelan. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and now we're going to freeze the enemies just like we did in the Xingshu sort of team comp. Another AoE freeze right there. So the combination of Yelan's AoE freeze and Kokomi just sort of keeps the enemies right where we want them. And here you can see we're just going to clear them much faster than we did previously. And this also means that we can funnel a bit more energy for the next floor. So already this team is doing quite a bit better. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to skip the whole thing of matching the times. I'm actually going to deduct like 30 seconds off the clock, and let's see what this team's going to do on the second half. So the idea that we're going to do a combined 9-star clear, let me just sort of say it straight, it is so easy to do on both sides, so why not just waste a bit of time, let this team leave this team a bit of a challenge that we didn't give to Xingshu, and let's see how they're going to perform. So immediately we're already very comfortable. At this point we can just sort of play in such a way that we can funnel more energy for the Magokenki fight here on the second half. And here's just Yelan just casually beating up the Ruin God, Kokomi and Rosario obviously freezing. And as you can see we're just building all our strengths and so on. At any point I could have swapped to Kokomi, I could have activated any of the other elemental bursts, but hey, you've got 3 minutes, so why not use those 3 minutes to gain some energy, to play around, to set yourself up for success, because that's the best way to do it. I mean, just do this through the use of skills and so on. And that is about it that I can say for this floor, and as always just remember towards the end of the floor and so on, just wait so that you can catch all those energy particles. And now let's go on to the second floor second half. So this is the big one of second floor first half. You'll see a notable difference. So we're going to do exactly the same as we did. Rosaria, then we're going to do Beidou, Kokomi, then we're going to freeze with Rosaria. And now we're going to go into Yelan, AoE freeze all the enemies, of course except for the slimes. And here we go, we're all grouped up, smash them with Beidou. And look at that, we're just going to clean up very quickly. That additional damage Yelan giving us, allowing us to sort of do this in a much faster period and so on. Jellyfish down, and as the enemy comes we're going to use Rosaria, freeze them, there's a bit of a Beidou smacking the enemies around. Yelan, another AoE freeze, just a very quick little tuck from her lifeline, Beidou, Kokomi, and the slime is gone, and now it's just going to be the big enemy who's just constantly frozen. And once again, you do not need the damage reduction from Xingshu or the healing, because Kokomi and Beidou absolutely sort of take care of that role. So hence Yelan is way more offensive, and that is really suits this team. It's one thing that I said about the Kokomi banner team comp, it's overly defensive and it's slightly inflexible, but with Yelan also carrying a Favonius weapon or weapon series, you've actually got way more options. So at 8:48 you'll now see me actually swapping to Venti here, because this is really funny. I was just trying to set this up to show you guys. We're just going to quickly hit them with Cleat. There we go. I'm spinning him right here in the air. Once again, we are not going to sort of match the times like we did on the previous video and so on. we're just going to see what we can do if we waste a bit of time. If we, since Yelan's a 5-star, she should do better than the 4-star. And as me just wasting time, you'll see that we're still going to clear Magokenki comfortably. This just speaks volumes to the fact that, like for like, Yelan is providing a lot more utility, and well, at least in this team comp, and that to me is absolutely heartwarming. It's one of the things we have said, but a lot of people are always saying, look, you've got C6 units, you don't understand the F2P experience. Well, here you are, here you've got teams that are, wow, 38k on the Ocean Youth Clamp, so that is absolutely crazy. But yeah, so I understand the F2P sort of perspective. This is a sort of team comp environment that you could also be running. Oh, and that's just sad. Just quickly couldn't get the little ping off due to the high ping. We couldn't swap to Beto, but it doesn't really matter because we've got Kokomi, we've got... look at that. Yelan just tanks all of that, and then look here, she's almost again back to full health. The combination of just that large HP pool and then Kokomi healing the entire team. I mean, come on, you do not need any of Xingshu's abilities with this combination. As you can see here, we're just sort of going to clean up right now, try and get as much energy as we can for Perpetual Mechanical Array. And you guys also see what I'm going to do is I'm not going to match time, so I'm actually going to waste time on the next floor so that we have even less time to beat Perpetual Mechanical Array with this team than we had with the sort of Xingshu team comp, and that'll just be to sort of demonstrate to you exactly how much more offensively oriented Yelan is. So let's go into the final floor, Perpetual Mechanical Array, soak up all those particles and so on. So we're not even going to do the first half because it's pretty trivial. So 9:10 on the clock. This is significantly less than we had with Xingshu, which was at 9:30. And let's see what we can do. Obviously, since we've got our elemental burst, I had to make a bit of an adjustment, but oh well, you can see here we're just going to attack, and it's just going to be so easy. And of course, one of those things to remember, once Kokomi's elemental burst is done, a quick tap E and just attacking there with Yelan will give you an additional sort of exquisite throw hit. So that is really quite nice using that Yelan tech. And what I'm going to do now here is I'm just going to stand here with Kokomi, just absolutely soak up all the damage, use Yelan's skill. I think we were pushed out of a jellyfish, but it really doesn't matter because we've got such an insane HP pool, and look at that, Kokomi is just brushing it off. Alright, so last time this guy actually ran away from our Rosario freeze, which was unlucky, so let's just see. Alright, he's just going to stay still, so that's going to obviously benefit us. There we go, Beidou and Kokomi, and I want you guys to look at the Ocean Youth Clam damage. 35,909 against Ruin Gods, 35,909. I mean, that is just... You guys can see why I love running this sort of team comp, and Rosaria being the character that triggers freeze. She's so comfortable, such a quick and fast character. She absolutely complements this team. There's a little bit of Beidou. Obviously, we're going to stall now for a bit because I want to have a like fancy little ending. Because why not? We can just play around in the Spiral Abyss. But yeah, this has been the sort of Kokomi banner team comp with a Yelan variation. As you guys can see, completely F2P possible. It all depends on how you play with it. There's no such thing as a rotation. There is a pattern that you need to learn in terms of playing and so on, but you're not confined to pressing Bennett, then Xiangling, then Xingshu, then Raiden. You're not confined to any of that nonsense. You can be very flexible in how you want to play this team. There are of course a couple of strategies that'll give you more damage, but overall it's pretty fun. And yes, I absolutely messed this up, and let's just give him a death by bubble pop. There we go, the final Ocean Youth Clamp set. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Cheers.